corporation having meetings for nothing and having like different topics, but what he says and explains on how to focus on one subject and only talk about that subject during the meeting makes a lot of sense. You know, you don't get the message scrambled in there by the end of the meeting. So,
right,
correct.
Out of nowhere.
Correct.
You probably read this stuff in other books, right? Because the way we do the meetings is the way you taught me, and
yeah,
you have everything written down step by step of what the meeting will be about.
A lot of like now I can see where John Maxwell probably got inspired to write all his books.
Okay.
And it would be probably from
this General Lee loving guy.
from Peter Drucker, because a lot of the stuff that he talks about, John Maxwell, and how to be a good leader, to be effective, to ask good questions.
Look that way.
What's up?
You had a fly in your hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And mushamald.
Thank you.
No, there was a fly, really. I didn't feel it. I didn't do that because I felt like touching you.
It felt good. So yeah, I can see where John Maxwell got the inspiration for his books. Yeah.
John Maxwell. What's
John Maxwell? He's a leadership coach.
Okay.
He's written about, I don't know, 12, 15 books on the subject.
John C. Maxwell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them say he's the next president of the United States.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
I've heard that.
You know,
is he running for it?
Well, he's got ambitions of going for it.
Hey?
I think that's the first step.
It'd be the first step, one of many.
But here, when he talks about executive, he's obviously not only talking about the leaders. He's talking about knowledge workers, right?
Yeah. Anyone can be a knowledge worker.
Like, right? I think the biggest thing of this book is understanding what your job is. Like, what is expected of me?
Yeah.
And, you know, if that's clear, if that's communicated properly between, you know, the subordinate and the leader, then you are forced to be held accountable for the things that go wrong in your area of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the major points in this book. Just communication. Like, what is my job? What is expected out of me?
Yeah.
And for you in real estate, what do your clients expect out of you?
Yeah.
And just do your job. And if you do your job, you know, hopefully they'll be happy and everybody's happy and everything runs effectively.
For sure.
Well, we almost have to manage our clients like we would an employee. Like, they have certain things that they need to do.
Yeah.
And we have to guide them down a certain path.
We're definitely we definitely need to be effective executives. That's for sure. When was this book written again?
1966.
It's still very, very relevant, but they need to update it. I strongly believe that they need unless there is an updated version.
I'm sure there is. Which section of the book did you find that was dated?
Well, towards the end, where he starts talking about computers being dumb and almost not obsolete, but just in the way of being an effective executive almost.
I don't think he says they're in the way. He says they are the best. They are far better at logic than humans are.
Yeah.
Which is still true, right?
But he doesn't dive into it deep enough to...
But their perception is...
And it's probably because of back when this book was written. Like, if you work alongside the computer, obviously you're going to be a much better effective executive than without it, you know, or letting it take your place.
If you're a bean counter, right, then you're just like counting stuff. Of course, a calculator, computer, spreadsheets, that's all going to help you.
Is there such a thing, a bean counter?
I believe there is.
I would be the worst bean counter.
I think it's another word for accountants.
Nah, I figured.
But
I think it comes from the Chinese calculators.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to use beans for those.
What is that thing called?
An abacus or something?
Apparently that's like super useful to do fast calculations.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
If you know how to use it.
Yes.
Yeah, for
Abacus?
sure.
Abacus,
I think
Atticus
so.
Finch?
Abacus.
Abacus Finch. But, you know, he won't know the relationship between his client and, you know, his business partners. Like, the computer won't be able to suggest, you know, oh, you should definitely move some assets over here, do this, you know.
So we were talking about
this
this
morning. Do you trust your wife? Like the computer won't ask that.
Right.
And I mean, an accountant has a relationship with his client. He's like, okay, he's been married for 10 years. You know, here's something that we could do with the family. Maybe send some income to your daughter. Like, I mean, computers won't be able to.
Yeah. No, you still need that personal touch, and I think that's why our jobs will still be relevant down the road.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
need the human interaction.
When I
and
first got
decision-making.
into this, I was really worried about that because they kept talking about like, oh, Redfin and Zillow and all these companies are going to eliminate our jobs. We're going to see a big shift, they were saying. And
Yeah.
after having done this for a couple of years now, I'm pretty confident that that's not going to be the case.
No, we just need to adapt.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And use the dumb computer machine to our advantage, which is what we've been doing with like the e-signatures and,
Of course.
you know, fax is now obsolete, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, use it to your advantage.
True.
Work alongside the dumb computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Work alongside the dumb computer. Christian Charron.
but you know,
If you look up dumb computer in the dictionary,
I don't right now. I think it's more than just computers. I think it's like apps and
Yeah, yeah.
softwares that you have access to that make our lives
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
You know, like I actually just registered this thing called Constant Contacts,
Okay.
where I can keep in touch with people
Okay.
because the system we have is just horrible.
All right.
The mortgage boss.
Yeah,
It's good for
It's-
mortgages.
it's good for mortgages, but it doesn't. It's not good enough for me for constant communication.
Right.
Like I want to send out newsletters. I
Yeah.
want to be able to send out news, and it's just so outdated. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, long story short, you know, if you can use those systems and those computers to your advantage, then you can become more effective.
Of course. Yeah, of
You know?
course.
And one of the things that really convinced me here is, and this is I'm just going away from computers, but delegating work to the ones that know how to do it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Part of being a great leader, right?
Yeah, like know what your strengths are,
Yeah.
know what your boss's strengths are if you have a boss, and then know what your subordinates' strengths are,
Yeah.
right? If you have any subordinates, and then work accordingly. Like I'm good at counting beans, okay? The subordinate is good at marketing, and then my
Flicking
boss,
them.
and my boss is good, yeah, and my boss is good at
Client relations.
client relations, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's I think you know that's something a computer cannot do and never be able to do. Determine what skill set you're dealing with and how to allocate those skill sets accordingly.
You just made me think of something. Have you guys seen I Am Mother, the new movie on Netflix?
No.
No,
Messed up.
What's it
A
about?
computer that raises a child,
Oh.
or a robot that raises a child.
that'd
The
be
child
They
is not a
wipe
robot?
out humanity and they try to like bring them back one by one. Like it's messed up.
kind of like
Really?
Terminator.
Yeah, well, I guess, but it's like a softer touch to it there. The robot's name is Mother, and the girl is Daughter. It's messed up, man. It's really cool. It's with the lovely Hilary Swan.
That's funny. So hold on.
Boys Don't Cry. Hilary Swan.
Don't know.
No, she's like. You've watched The Office. They have a debate on whether she's hot or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of music selection is this? I feel like I'm at an Aldo or something.
It's called Head Bob.
Baldo.
Yeah. It's sort of like just jazzy beats.
I like jazz. Jazz is like the oldest. It's like the oldest music, right?
The oldest form of podcast music.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
I like it too.
I like jazz. I like blues.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You can listen to it anytime.
It's definitely underrated.
It's always
But
a good fit.
I feel like everything stems out of it. Like all the if you listen to
That
jazz
is
and
true.
blues, a
Yeah.
lot of it stems out. A lot of music comes out of it.
Hip hop,
Yeah,
rock. You know, that's all derived from blues and jazz.
yeah,
To get back to the book,
yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
You were talking about how it's important to know what your boss is good at.
Yeah.
And there's like questions that he talks about, and he says, what can my boss do really well, and to like help him out to do that thing really well. Like that's what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does he need to know to use his strength? So we had the conversation with Rahel our lovely admin, and it's often a problem that we run into where we'll ask her to do things that we could probably do ourselves to save her time, that she can concentrate on more important things, you know. So I found that was pretty useful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
if
what
you're
I mean?
good at the stuff, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Talking about more important things, you know, another thing he mentioned in this book is lay out what's your priorities,
Yeah.
and know in your head that you need to finish these priorities to have a successful day. And all the secondary priorities, if you don't get to them, it's okay,
Yeah.
right? So lay out your priorities, finish those priorities. If you can get to the second priorities, then that's fine. If you
Right.
can't,
Ask
all
what will
good.
happen if it's not done.
exactly, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
First things
I
first.
found that
Yeah.
super interesting, and it's almost like a relief. It's like, you
Yeah.
know what? I think he's right, because
Yeah.
I didn't finish the list of 27,000 things I need to do today.
Yeah.
I finished 3.
Yeah.
It's okay if the other 24
Yeah.
don't get done,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. They need to get done, just probably not right away.
Yeah, probably on the weekend.
There's a quote in here that was pretty clever. It's like, do the first things first, but the second one never, or something like that.
Yeah.
Meaning that, you know, if it's secondary, it's going to stay secondary.
Yep.
You know, and then go back to the things that you have to understand what everybody else in the organization is doing. At least have a basic knowledge. When I was watching the basketball game a few days ago on Monday night, okay, one of the ball players passed the ball to where he thought his teammate is going to be, but it turned out that there was nobody there. Because a lot of the times they make these passes with like
A split second, yeah.
in a split second where they think that player is supposed to be, because it's all plays, right?
Passed it to Drake.
Exactly. Well, it was like, yeah. So, and even and it happened a couple of times that game. And even as a football player, as a quarterback, is, you know, his player is supposed to be here. He passes it there. His player is not there. So, understanding what everybody else is doing makes everything else go smoother,
Of
Yeah.
course.
and where people need to be. And then when they're not there, then they are being held accountable.
Yeah.
So you get rid of that awkward moment completely, that awkward situation where you have to tell somebody, hey, listen, you didn't do your job properly. They already know they didn't do their job properly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it makes me think of the section of the book where he says, you know, everybody's going to have difficult things that are difficult for them. But as an effective executive, you shouldn't focus on those.
No.
You should focus on their strength.
On your strengths, yeah.
And if somebody comes into the office and they're killing it, but you know they're very they're not good for office atmosphere, maybe work on just insulating them, you know, so that you can. But like, don't get rid of that person because they're they're very good at their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Is that quote staffing the opportunities instead of the problems?
yes. Exactly.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can think of times in the past where I might have, you know, got rid of somebody too fast because, you know, there was some lack of things, you know, but they were very good at their job, but it was like, you know, this was not working, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm thinking back,
Yeah,
sort of know what you're talking about.
of course.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Well, it's happened more than once.
But that's something you go through and you learn through that experience, right? Like if you had read this book back then, maybe you would have handled it differently.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe not. You know, depends on.
Maybe quicker.
Maybe quicker. Yeah.
That's the cool thing about reading, eh? It's just you're really learning from the best of the best.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's like for $20, you're basically getting a crash course about something that's so cool, man.
I find myself talking about all these books so often.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I talked about digital minimalism again yesterday.
Yeah.
It keeps coming up. Even Spark the other day, like a book that I didn't enjoy, ended up talking about it.
Funny story,
really good.
actually. I was talking to my wife, and my wife's telling me, listen, look, I've been feeling a lot of anxiety lately. Oh, anxiety?
Tell me more about that.
Here's Spark, chapter 4. Take a look at it.
Yeah.
Read about it. Go for a run or something. Because I keep telling her, go for a run. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
And then she's getting this like postpartum,
Yep.
or not postpartum, but PMS.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, to counter that, sometimes what's good is if you go for a run.
Yeah.
She's like, are you a woman? I'm like, no. but this doctor here talks about it. He's like, is he a woman? No, but there's a lot of studies, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like just read chapter 7.
Yeah.
You know, it'll tell you what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's so cool when you read these books, and it helps you with your job. It helps you with your personal life. It helps you with everything.
Yeah, for sure. No, you're absolutely right. And it's funny you say that because I actually noticed that my girlfriend does that. Whenever she starts feeling it, like she'll go to the gym, she'll do yoga even more.
Yeah.
She'll go for a walk.
It helps.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, it seems like it.
It seems like it does, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like it's science, right? Like it's trial and error. People have done this for hundreds of years, and they've found solutions to these things for hundreds of years. So if you're stuck in a jam, somebody has been through this jam before. Like somebody has been through a situation like this, and they found the solution. They wrote about the solution. It's up to you to find that solution and see what other people have done in the past.
Make it fit in your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's a huge.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think we should review at this point.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys wanted to bring up about the?
The end was really good. There's a good story about Belle and how they stayed.
What was that half a baby story?
I'm not sure.
It's weird. If you have half a baby, you don't really have a baby. You have a corpse. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was.
That's the German sense of humor right there.
Is Drucker German?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He likes to talk about Germany.
Yeah.
And the South.
And World War. Well, that was very relevant. Well, it's still relevant today, but
1966.
It wasn't that far.
Peter
Drucker. Yeah, all in all, it's a great book. I mean, the end, he talks about how Bell is still a privatized company and how they focused on servicing people instead of, being taken over by the government. That was a pretty cool story.
Yeah. It's all.
What else is there to say? I mean, it's a great book.
Okay, you know what? I'll start with my 3 takeaways in this book.
Sure.
And I'll review it. I think takeaway number 1 is when you are working with people and hiring people. I'm not going to say hiring people. I'm just going to say working with people.
Yeah.
Don't hire them based on your lack of strength, obviously. Hire them based on, opportunities.
Yeah.
Right? See where they fit and clearly communicate what their job tasks is. I think that's one thing. And another thing, people that enjoy what they're doing and their tasks clearly laid out for them will do a better job. And one example of that is if you're talking to, like I was on customer service with Constant Contact. I called the customer service line. Man, they love what they're doing. And and it's really nice to talk to them. Like I actually want to give them a call again just to chat with the dude. They love what they do and they believe in what they do. So
it's fun calling into those companies.
They, like even GoDaddy, man.
Yes, I was just gonna say GoDaddy. Like they're fucking amazing.
They are like
every time
they love their jobs, and I almost want to give my client that same experience when they call me.
Yeah.
Right? So I've changed my tone on the phone. It's all about your tone and the way you're talking about how much you love your job.
Yeah.
And if you can help the people that work with you or work for you have that same tone, turn them into executives, man.
Identify their
the
strength.
limit. Yeah, sky's the limit.
GoDaddy, they called me once and they're like, "Oh, we're just checking in, see how things are going."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Things are fine. Did you want to offer me anything?" They're like, "No, we're just checking in."
Yeah.
Okay.
With their American accent.
Yeah.
Y'all want something?
Y'all doing good up there? Did you need a blanket, son?
So I'm gonna give this book because I think I'm gonna use a lot of the stuff that I learned from here. I mean, it was written in 1966. That was before I was born by like 20 years. I still think it's very relevant to today's time, and I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Whoa!
Wow, that's high.
Very, very
4.5
good. Very
slices
good
of bacon.
review.
Wow.
Felix?
Pizza! Peter Drucker.
You Jamaican now?
I had a hard time absorbing information from this book, I found.
Okay.
But yeah, like the first things first, and even he talked a bit about how middle management needs to be executives now. And in my experience working in the government, I found that's very relevant. Like, I've seen supervisors who are just like lower level management.
Yeah.
And they're running like, they have to do purchase and acquisitions and all sorts of stuff now. And they're managing 40 people. And to me, I'm just like, well, that's exactly what they're doing. They're, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't get the preparation they need to be in that position because it's still seen as like they're just a supervisor.
Yeah.
But so that was relevant for me.
Yeah.
And then also the artificial intelligence stuff he was talking about with computers. It's interesting to see the progression that's come to today. Because, like, I know you said, like, the computer is stupid and now it's not. But I think, like, to an extent with what we know and how we use it, I think it's just a tool still.
Of course.
And, yeah, I just, to me, it's just cool to see how that shift is taking place. But it's still kind of being used the same way. Just with a more organic and complex artificial intelligence system now.
Yeah. It's an effective tool.
Yep.
And what's your score?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Whoa! The slam.
Well, it's not a slam. It's still really good.
Yeah.
It's
no, like the information.
I'll give it half a baby.
3.5 babies. No, the information was really good. It was just the way it was delivered. I had trouble absorbing it.
Yeah. For me, I think I would have preferred to. I enjoyed this book. I really did, but I would have preferred having an updated version with examples from today, especially the computer parts. I kept thinking, like, man, it's like you almost had it right, but not about the computers. Like you should have. Well, he couldn't have because he wasn't there yet with the technology. But like, I would have liked to seen like examples of how you can work together with it and being a better, effective executive. I really like this book, and I'll take away some stuff from there and use it in my everyday life and business. Because not only in business, but in life itself, you can use examples of this and like focusing on problems, everyday problems, like personal problems, one at a time, instead of stressing over every little darn details of, you know, a day that's going bad.
Sure.
So I'm giving this a 3.9. I think it's a solid book, but I would have preferred an updated version.
It's not quite a 4.
Not quite a 4. No, it's like it's 3.9 slices of le bacon.
That's good.
Out of 5.
Good ratings all around.
Baby back bacon.
Baby back, yeah.
A few takeaways for me. Definitely realizing what the people around me, what their strengths are.
Yeah.
But even more importantly, doing some self-reflecting on what my strengths are.
Yeah.
So I can effectively work, you know, on the stuff that I can.
I feel like you've always been good at doing that.
Yeah.
That's funny because I'm asking myself, what am I good at? Like exceptionally good at?
Yeah.
And I can't really answer it.
You're a good-looking guy.
Well, unfortunately, that
You're
doesn't.
good at good looking.
That doesn't really help out in the business. But thank you, Rami. Likewise.
Thank you.
You're very sharply dressed today.
Thank you.
Good.
Can we edit sparkles in your guys' eyes? Twinkles.
So on the computer subject, since we all touched on it, I still think that it has come a long way, but technology has a long way to go before it can replace human perceptions.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the AI systems that we have today are very narrow. They are just, you know, good at doing one task. That's driving around, you know. But it's very good at playing chess or Go. But, like, we do a million things in every single day, right? And computers are super far from that.
Yeah.
So I would like to see an updated version also. But it's still very relevant.
Definitely.
So for me, 4.25 slices of bacon out of 5. Very good book. Yeah.
Have we ever given a 4.25? I feel like that's a first.
Really? It's a 4.25. It's a pretty
good.
Common number. Because we had a 3.5.
And a 3.9.
And that's a weird number.
It's not a 4.
You're the goose.
You know, it's more of a 3 than a 4.
Yeah.
Still pretty good.
I like old books, man. I like reading old books.
Yeah.
It's something even the wording, like one shall not.
Yeah.
What thou shall. It's like it's a cool it's just a cool twist.
But if you're writing like that today, like you're an asshole. You're just an asshole. You know? Like, but back then it was like common. But if you put words like thou in your book today,
English?
like
Know
go
thy
fuck
time.
yourself, you're an asshole.
Know thy time.
Know thy time. Yeah.
Good stuff, guys. Good
Okay,
book.
so did you guys
Next.
want to talk about the next book?
Might as well. Are we pulling the trigger on that one?
Yep.
Which one is it?
Do it.
The Dog?
Oh yes,
Shoe Dog.
The Shoe Dog?
The Shoe Dog.
Phil Knight.
I'm excited for this one because it's going to be a totally different conversation. We're going to talk about a person, hopefully being able to find relevance in our lives. I'm sure we will, but man, this guy's story apparently is quite the
It has
story.
very good reviews.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Shoe Dog.
Phil
Knight.
Shyamalan.
Phil Knight Shyamalan.
There's a big twist at the end. Like, whoa, fuck. Wasn't expecting that.
The flip-flop.
Maybe,
flip-flop.
maybe it'll teach us to outsource a lot of our jobs, a lot of our work to Malaysia.
Yeah.
The answer is sweatshops.
So let's maybe have like a purpose in reading this one, and let's try to find examples of books we read and what this guy did.
Sure.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
So I was talking to our friend who runs a new restaurant in Ontario. It's been around in Quebec for a long time. I'm not going to name it there, but they're struggling in some parts of the business on the Ontario side because it's completely different than Quebec. I want to give him the purple cow because he's high up, and I think that if he reads that book, it might click something to help them out.
You'll have to tell me what this is later.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah. We're all
So-
going to become business consultants.
Yeah. Just every time someone has a problem, chuck that book at them. There you go.
What do you have
Purple
problems
cow.
with? Well, you can just ask. What do you have a problem with?
Yeah.
I know my branding. Purple cow.
Slap him in the
I
face.
feel like I need to be a better leader. Boom.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what?
Open
You're crazy
your
if you're
trench
doing
coat.
that kind of business and you're not reading.
Yeah, for sure. I had a interesting talk with a mortgage broker that's known to be very busy and workaholic, and I asked him yesterday if he reads, and he says no, he doesn't have time. So I told him to read Digital Minimalism. The guy is stressed the hell out and just feels like he's losing his grip. I
You
told
should-
him,
But
You
that
read
I know
Spark.
that guy, and his strength is that he's a workhorse. Like always.
Yeah.
Always.
yeah,
working.
but I think he's burning the candle on both ends
I
now.
agree.
And I told him, man, read this book. It might help you get
He's
better
like,
sleep and
Digital minimalism and Spark.
all these books. A trench coat of
Spark
books.
is
What do you
huge.
need, man? What do you need? I got this. I got that.
Spark is it's a huge book. Like as far as the ideas in it, it's just boring as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ideas in it are.
yeah.
I'm feeling bad that I rated it at 2.5.
Should feel bad for giving it to our buddy who's never going to give it back to me.
Sorry.
Two of the book, Digital Minimalism too. Yeah. It's like, this is a good book, and this too. Take it home. I'm like, dude, you gave him my books. I'm never going to see him again. That's okay. We have other copies.
Yeah.
So, Phil Knight, Shoe Dog.
The Shoe Dog. Yep.
I'm down with that.
Should we, know right away
Uh,
what page?
Let's do first 100 pages.
Is it dog, D-O-G, or
D-O-G.
D-A-W-G?
Phil Dog. If it's an updated version to the NBA standards.
Shoe Dog.
Shoe Dog. It's a shoe dog.
Shoe Dog.
I'm really excited for this one. Yeah.
Boop-boom.
So first 200 pages? That's a lot, no?
Says the average reader will spend 8 hours reading it.
Okay.
So I don't know how many pages it is.
So let's aim for the first 150.
How big is the book?
400 pages.
So first 100 pages. We'll do the 4
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do a 4-week.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and if we figure that we can go more, we'll do 100, 150, and 150.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's do first 100 to start.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for watching.
And
Oh, by the way, I
Go
didn't
check
use
out-
an Audible for this one.
Go check
I
out.
read it.
Ooh, old school.
Go check out Indigo
Yeah.
for their special they have.
Plum.
now.
Yeah.
For
Plum card. For $30, you get $20 off. Plus, you get 10% off of every purchase for a year.
Nice.
So it's cheaper than Chapters, and it's free delivery.
Okay, perfect.
Indigo and Chapters aren't the same thing?
Yes.
Sorry, it's cheaper than Amazon.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Indigo, Chapters, and Cole are all the same thing.
Cool. I will do that.
À très bien. Oh. Need to keep it consistent.
What? What are you doing?
I have to log off
Oh, yeah.
the music.
Did you even put it in when we
Yeah.
started?
Yeah. I need to let it play for like 10 seconds.
Very consistent.
Ok. Salut tout le monde.
Cool.